Hi, my name is Sarah. I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I'm a mom, a public school teacher, and an organizer with the Wisconsin Poor People's Campaign and the Nonviolent Medicaid Army. And I also help lead the Freedom Shul of the Poor. Um, it's an honor to be with y'all tonight. I've been a part of this network and this movement to end poverty since joining the Healthcare is a Human Right campaign in Vermont with the Vermont Workers Center about 15 years ago. I'm also part of a mixed immigration status family. My husband is undocumented, and we also have five other family members in our household, including children that don't have status, not to mention countless friends, neighbors, many of my students that I teach that are all vulnerable, have been, but even more now, vulnerable because of their status. Um, my family, my community are stressed and scared right now on this eve of the inauguration. Even though people are trying to stay grounded and stay hopeful, it is hard to see the headlines that, ICE is expanding to a bigger facility in our city here in Milwaukee and to be able to hold more people, and that these headlines that raids are set to start immediately on Tuesday. Um, so, reading King's words to prepare for tonight, the text that we read for tonight, the words that we don't have to live like we are forced to live, and that we are God's children, and that we are determined to be people, really hit my heart. They remind me of my favorite song in the movement, which is the one that we sing that says, "We are not afraid, we are not afraid. We will fight for liberation because we know why we were made." And those words, "we know why we were made," have always just meant a lot to me. We know our humanity. We know that we are made for so much more than the pain of poverty. We're not made to be ripped apart from our families by deportations or incarcerations. We're not made to try to survive outside. It's below zero here in Milwaukee right now, and people are trying to survive living outside while there are countless warm buildings that are locked up to them. We weren't made to have to destroy our bodies in factories and warehouses for somebody else's profit, or to not be able to go to the doctor or get the medicine that's right there just because it's, out of network, or we don't have the right insurance. We weren't meant to die in fires and floods, and we certainly weren't meant to be bombed or starved like the people of Gaza have been experiencing. That's not why we were made. And when we know why we were made, though, that commitment to each other, our clarity about our humanity, that knowing is such an antidote, to the fear, so that we can keep caring for each other and fighting for the liberation that we need. In that same quote that we read for tonight, King then also asks, what will it take? This believing that we deserve more, what does it mean? And that's a question for right now. That's a question for today. And the theme of this season in the Freedom Church of the Poor is that we have to learn as we lead. We have to learn how to navigate these times. And things are scary and might be harder and worse, not better. And we need to use that. Everything that comes our way, we need to use it to get sharper. When it's dark, we can't say, "Oh, can't do anything. I can't see in the dark." We have to say, "Oh, it's dark. Now is my time to learn. How do I navigate in the darkness?" And to do that, we might not be able to do all the things that we've done in the past. The conditions today, both the material conditions and the political landscape, are different than in King's time, and even than they were 15 years ago when I joined the movement, even then a few years ago or a few months ago. And it's likely that there will be situations when we can't use the same tactics and approaches that we've used before. But we have our guiding stars still, uniting the poor, lifting from the bottom, and identifying and developing leaders. We have to be where our people are. So here we're trying to lean into things like survival projects and defense networks, like literally on the level of making sure we know our neighbors, our coworkers, our congregations, and figuring out, who's vulnerable. Do people have enough food? Is anybody getting evicted? Are people losing their Medicaid? And what can we do collectively? These are conversations that we might not, maybe we are having already, or maybe we need to have now. In my school, we are having meetings after school, and we're talking about how can we support our families. We might not be able to stop some of the parents of our students from being deported, but we can figure out how to help any family that goes through that to survive while they figure things out. And we can talk about how do we help our students, with the stress and the mental health struggles that they're going through already right now. And these relationships that we're forging through all of this, they're different than the coworker relationships that we had before. They're different than teacher, student, parent relationships. They're becoming more politicized in a way that needs to happen for the world that we're facing now and the world that we're fighting for. And so wherever possible, we need to connect our people up to the work of things like the Nonviolent Medicaid Army, the National Union of the Homeless, and right here in the Freedom Church, so that we can help people ask these questions and answer these questions of why don't we have enough food? Why are our families being ripped apart? Why can't I go to the doctor? So that today they might be joining because of an immediate need, but tomorrow they're staying with us for the long haul because they can see that there is no other way, and this is the only way. And that way we can keep identifying and developing leaders, and these threads can weave together to be the foundation of our movement. That's what's on my mind. I'm glad that we have each other. I'm glad that we have spaces like this to sustain ourselves, sustain each other, pray for each other, and figure out the way forward together. Lots of love.